Hello everyone, this is Colleen Lemma, Starseed Astrologer and Spiritual Messenger from SacredSoulEmpowerment.com, here to do your monthly intuitive reading for March 2021. For this month's monthly reading, we'll be using the Syrian Starseed Tarot by Patricia Corey and Alyssa Bartha for the main message for everyone. And your special message card this month, depending on your stone of choice, will be coming from a new deck called the Sacred Power Reading Cards by Anna Stark. So let's go ahead and start off by taking a look at your stones of choice. So these are all new special intention pendants that I have wrapped. And the first one here is a beautiful citrine pendant. Isn't that beautiful? It's large, it's clear, it's cut and polished. And this citrine pendant is wrapped in gold, obviously, and it's been Reiki charged with the vibration of the number 3, which is the number for creative self-expression and all forms of communication, including speaking, teaching, writing, etc. It's also infused with the energy of master number 11, the number of the light worker and the visionary. I've also Reiki infused it with the energy of Chiron, the wounded healer, to heal all past life wounds of the self, the qualities of the fire element for confidence and courage and leadership. And it also has infused into it the energies of Archangel Gabriel, the archangel who supports and inspires our life purpose that's involved with communication or the arts, and with Archangel Michael's energy, who leads us to the next step of our highest and most important destiny path. Okay, and our second pendant of choice is this beautiful and unique piece of shadakite. I know it looks large when I'm holding it up to the camera, but you can see that it would be, all of these pendants are larger pendants, but they're all definitely wearable. So the shadakite is wrapped in gold and Reiki charged with the vibration of master number 11 and master number 33 for increased psychic abilities, including clairvoyance, clairaudience, claircognizance, clairsentience, and with the energies of the planet Neptune and Uranus for connecting to the higher spiritual realms and the God mind. It has the activation of the crown, the third eye, and the throat chakras all together in it for opening up to higher guidance and wisdom, having clear inner sight and vision, and speaking one's authentic truth. And it's also infused with the energies of Archangel Uriel for creative inspiration and wisdom, and Archangel Michael for strength, courage, and leadership. And then our last special intention pendant of choice is this beautiful Amethyst Cluster. Again, you can see I have amethyst on too. This one's a little bit larger. You can see there. And the Amethyst Cluster is wrapped in gold wire. I guess they're all wrapped in gold wire this time. And it's been Reiki charged with the vibration of the number 9, the essence of the humanitarian and creative and spiritual energy, and with master number 11, number of the light worker and the visionary. It has infused into it qualities of the sign of Pisces for unconditional love, compassion, and spiritual connection to one's angels and guides, the balancing of the crown chakra to open one up to higher wisdom and guidance, and also infused into it Archangel Raziel's energy, the archangel of alchemy and divine magic. So let's show you those pendants once again. We have the beautiful citrine pendant here. You can see I didn't do that with this, but you can see what the size would be around your neck. We got the citrine pendant for choice, the shadakite, isn't that beautiful? And the amethyst cluster. Okay, let's put those aside here. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the vibration of the month of March. So I can't believe we're already in March. March is the third month, and if we take that number 3 and we add it to the universal year vibration for 2021, which adds up to a 5, right? 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 1. So we're in a universal year of a 5, which is about freedom and change and redirection. And the shadow side of that can be unfocused energy or ungrounded energy, a few surprises, a lot of chaos, or just a lot of things going on. But the positive is about progressive change. The positive about the number 5 is that freedom and that positive redirection. It's about networking. It's about being busy with the mind, and again, coming up with all of these wonderful brainstorming kind of ideas and thoughts and perceptions. And if we take the 5 universal year for 2021 and add it to March, which is 3, we get the number 8. And so the universal month vibration for the month of March is an 8 vibration. Now, the number 8 is about empowerment. See, from a spiritual perspective, it to me is all about us owning our own inner sense of authority, our confidence, our strength, our courage, and that all equals us moving into our power. Now, that number 8 can bring up energies of disempowerment, right? Where there's empowerment, there can be disempowerment. There can be people that are exuding their power and control over us for us to have the opportunity to take our power back, which is part of our spiritual journey, a lot of us. Now, on a more third dimensional level, the number 8 numerologically has to do with our career path, our life path, our destiny path. It's about money, it's about business, it's about finances, it's about personal resources, it's about respect, it's about being successful out in the world. So the month of March can also be a focus on those matters as well. The number 8, if you take it and you kind of take that number 8 and you turn it on its side, right? It's going to be the infinity symbol. And so there's this balancing act that takes place with the number 8, right? It's about as above, so below. It's about what you give out, you get back. There's that kind of sort of that balance of earthly and spiritual at the same time. So in other words, if we're looking at the number 8 from a business, money, financial kind of perspective, we have to have that balance of the spiritual. What you are receiving in the form of, let's say, monetary compensation, you want to give back somehow. Give back to those that are less fortunate, give back in some way through support or through effort or kindness. There's always that kind of give and take from that number 8 perspective for us to gain the greatest blessings that it has to offer. Now, the 8th Major Arcana in the Tarot, which the month of March is also going to vibrate to, is the Strength card, okay? Now, this is the Strength card from the Citrine Starseed Tarot. Normally, it has a lion on it, right? A lion with a woman. This one has more of a tiger on it, but we're still in the cat family here. And what are lions and tigers all about? They represent this leadership. They represent this confidence. They represent this kind of respect energy, right? Because it kind of has that presence. It commands sort of a respect here. So this energy, again, relates to that number 8, right? The confidence, the self-assuredness, the self-respect, the leadership is all represented by the Strength card. Now, in this particular rendition, you can see there's a lot of kind of fiery energy around this tiger. And he's in a stance where he's opening his mouth and he's roaring, right? Roaring like the lion, roaring like the tiger. And that again has that idea of empowerment, right? Sometimes we need to take back our power. We need to own our power. Now, that doesn't mean to be frustrated. It doesn't mean to be overly aggressive or mean in any way, but maybe we need to be more assertive. Maybe we need to assert our power, assert our truth. Maybe we need to speak our truth as this tiger has his mouth open, right? And sometimes we need to kind of create that very strong boundary when we're speaking our truth, being authentic and not backing down and not giving other people kind of the room necessarily to take advantage of, right? So this fire energy, the fire element, is creative energy. It's spiritual energy. But you can see it looks a little chaotic. So that fire element with that tiger and the strength card might have this energy of, being all over the place a little bit. That fire energy is unpredictable. When we have a fire, outdoors a campfire or indoors a fireplace fire, that fire is dancing around. That fire can be unpredictable. If you look at it, you don't know what exactly it's going to do or how it's going to flame up or, what direction is going to flame higher. So there's that unpredictability of that fire element, that creative element, that confident element, that spiritual element. And it can back us up, right? I mean, this is it's a beautiful, artistic, creative thing. And at the same time, it can be, for those that aren't utilizing it in the most proper way, it can be a little dangerous. So going back to that 8, that sense of owning our power and exerting our power, if we're not careful with it, it can become dangerous. But at the same time, if we use our power wisely, right, and we kind of tame that power, like we're taming the lion or taming the tiger, then it's going to operate for us in the best possible way. Now, the other thing with this fire in this particular card, with the idea that it's very changeable and mutable, it's a little chaotic looking, right? And we do have some mutable energy this month of March. The first part of March, we have the Sun in Pisces. We have Venus in Pisces. That Pisces energy is mutable, which means it's changeable. Mars, the planet of energy and action, is going to be in Gemini. Gemini is a mutable sign. So again, it can be a little unpredictable, or it can move around a lot and not be very focused. And so this to me is the symbology with this particular strength card that tells us that we have to kind of adopt a go with the flow attitude. We have to be able to move with the tides. We have to be able to change when change is called for, to not be so stuck in a particular idea or stuck in a particular situation that we can't allow the flow and the change and the redirection to take place. So I think that's also part of this energy of the strength card as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the astrological highlights for the month of March. Now, it's not as, what do I want to say? It's always important, right? But I don't think that the astrology of March is strong or direct in a way as it has been the first couple of months of the year. The first couple of months of the year, we started out with Saturn squaring Uranus. That was a big deal. Of course, we're going to have that kind of back and forth throughout the year. And then we also, last month in February, we had Mercury retrograde in Aquarius. We had 5 planets in Aquarius. And if you remember back to that Mercury retrograde time, that was kind of an interesting time as well. But this month, we start out with one of the highlights, which is right on March 3rd, and that is Mars, which I just mentioned, the warrior, moving into Gemini, that mutable air sign. Now, Mars is a fiery planet. Okay, it naturally rules Aries, so the warrior, and he rules the fire element, but he's going into an air sign. So what happens when you put fire and air together? Fire and air kind of create a larger fire, right? And the air element, Gemini, in this case, is all about our thoughts, our ideas, our perceptions. And this can actually help with the movement of those ideas. It's like our ideas, our new thoughts that we're coming up with, we can put that fire Mars energy behind it and start to move forward with some of them, start to make things happen. We can also network with other people or communicate with other people, which Gemini loves to do. And then create more of, again, this forward movement of energy with creating or co-creating with other people what our ideas are, what it is that we want to do. This can be anything from co-creating projects with one another, or creating kind of moving forward on a new idea of what you want to do out in the world. But again, you're kind of maybe including other people, or at least you're asking for information or researching or looking for little tidbits of information, which again, Gemini likes to do, to assist and help you with that. Now, Mars is also our physical energy. So with Mars going into Gemini, and realize that he's going to be in Gemini for the rest of March, this sometimes can scatter our physical energy. We might be a little up and down and all over the place with our physical energy. We might have spurts of a lot of energy, and then times where we feel like we're just, lacking in that vitality. So go with the flow with that too. Gemini, mutable, go with the flow. So if you have the energy, certainly use it to your advantage and go with it. If your body needs to rest, if you need some downtime, if you need some time out in nature, whatever that might be, allow your body to have that, because again, the physical energy can be scattered, as well as our mind. The ideas, the perceptions that Gemini rules can be a little scattered and lacking in focus. So if it is an idea that you want to move forward with, you're going to have to learn how to kind of focus that energy and ground it. And a great way to do that is, I think, to make a list. Now, whether you make a handwritten list or there's a lot of programs out there to where you're organizing your thoughts and you're organizing the steps in which to take those thoughts. Either way, it's a great thing to do with Mars and Gemini so you can stay on track. And then on the 4th of March, we have Mercury coming together with Jupiter in the sign of Aquarius. Now, Mercury went retrograde in Aquarius, so it's been here for quite a long time. And with Mercury in Aquarius, Mercury, the ruler of the mind, and that sign that rules the God mind, Aquarius, higher mind, higher thought, higher knowledge, higher wisdom. And it's coming together with Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of prosperity, abundance, and blessings. It's also the planet of expansion. So it's going to expand us into a lot of these higher information types of energies. To me, Aquarius is like opening up the crown chakra and letting the divine wisdom and divine perceptions and just these kind of divine messages and information to flow through us. So on and around that day of the 4th, it's going to be a great time to utilize your mind. It's going to be a great time to network with other people. It's going to be a great time to brainstorm. It's going to be a great time to come up with new ways of thinking that can help to benefit you as you move forward on your future path. On the 10th, the Sun and Neptune are coming together in Pisces. Remember, the Sun is in Pisces, as is Neptune. And this can be a time where, dreams come true, magic can happen. It's a great time to do visionary work or metaphysical, spiritual type of work, psychic, intuitive, or healing type of work. One thing, though, with the Sun and Neptune coming together is we can feel a little bit foggy or unclear, or we can feel a little floaty. We're not very grounded, because Pisces is a water sign, but it's also a mutable sign. So again, we have this mutable energy of wanting to kind of just be in the spiritual realm with Pisces. We just want to connect to the higher energy of the universe and kind of stay there. So there can be escapist types of tendencies there. Again, a lack of focus, a dreaminess, which again isn't all bad. It just depends on how you're using it or when you're using it, basically. So just know on and around the 10th, it's a very spiritual time to do meditation or other spiritual type of work, intuitive work, healing work. Maybe not so great for anything that you need to be really focused in your mind with, because the mind is not necessarily going to be as focused. On the 13th, we have a new moon in Pisces, okay? So Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. Okay, so we're coming into a completion phase in this month of March. Last month in February, we had that full moon in Virgo. So the sun was in Pisces already. The moon was in Virgo. That was the last full moon within a cycle of energy. Now we're in the last new moon within a cycle of energy. This new moon is at 23 degrees of Pisces. And during the new moon in Pisces on the 13th, Venus comes together with Neptune, which is really nice. You know, Venus and Neptune are both in Pisces. The new moon is in Pisces. So the sun is in Pisces as well. And that Pisces energy has the energy of unconditional love and compassion and selfless service to other people and forgiveness. And first and foremost, have that love and compassion and forgiveness towards yourself. Because in another couple of weeks after this new moon, we're going to go into the, well, not so far after that actually, we go into the spring equinox. We go into a time of new beginnings with the sun moving into Aries. Okay, well, we'll get to that in a minute. But know that this new moon in Pisces, again, even though new moons are about new beginnings, we are still coming to a close with that Pisces energy, the last sign of the zodiac, and therefore there's this completion energy that we're moving through. And just previous to the new moon in Pisces, we have that dark of the moon phase, and that's really going to be a time to do a lot of spiritual soul searching and spiritual healing on a higher level for your higher soul self and your soul's journey. Now, going back to that Venus and Neptune coming together on the new moon, Venus is about love and relationships, but is also about money and finances and our personal resources. The Neptune influence with Venus can be about falling in love. I mean, this can be about romantic love and feeling that kind of fantasy about love, which again isn't all bad, but at the same time, we might have a tendency with Venus and Neptune coming together or in any kind of connection with wearing rose-colored glasses. I think it's funny, all of a sudden I realize I have roses here next to me, right? And this pink kind of color is to me a color that's associated with Venus, the planet of love. So we are sometimes wearing rose-colored glasses when it comes to romance and love relationships and whatnot, and we're not seeing the other person clearly. And it doesn't mean it's wrong or bad to romanticize something, right? And to really want to be in that unconditional love and compassion. That's beautiful, just like these roses are beautiful. But if we look really closely and we take off the rose-colored glasses, well, we might see that, there's a little leaf over here that's kind of falling down. It's not perfect, right? So, and nothing really is perfect, right? So we have to realize that after the rose-colored glasses come off, after the Venus and Neptune start to pull away from each other, we might start to see something with more clarity. And again, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad or a negative, but we want to not make any decisions during the time of Venus and Neptune together until kind of it starts to pull apart. And then we can, again, use more discernment and see more clearly before we're jumping into something, let's say, or we're making a decision. But definitely feel that love, feel that forgiveness, be in love, be the love that you want to experience in your life. And that's going to help you to attract what it is you're looking for on all levels. Okay, on the 15th, Mercury moves out of Aquarius finally, and it moves into the sign of Pisces. Okay, so now Mercury is joining the Sun and Venus in the sign of Pisces, and Neptune, of course. Neptune's there for a really long time. But Mercury rules our logical mind. And when it moves into Pisces, the sign of intuition, the sign of creativity, the sign of just wanting to kind of float along in life and just, be in the experience. Well, Mercury isn't the most happy there. Mercury was pretty happy in Aquarius, because Aquarius is kind of logical as well, and Mercury being a planet of our thoughts and our perceptions and communications on a logical level, it was okay in Aquarius. It liked it, although there was a lot of planets in Aquarius, which made it a little bit interesting. But now Mercury's moving into Pisces, and it will be there for the rest of this month as well. And Mercury in Pisces, again, it's more of a creative, artistic way of thinking. It's more of an intuitive and psychic way of thinking. So if we can expand our mind energy past always the logic of how the mental mind likes to operate, and be more flowing and open and receptive to the spiritual way that the universe wants to speak to us, then we'll do okay. Again, it's a really great time with Mercury in Pisces for creative writing or meditation, anything again that brings in that artistry or creative kind of flowing energy. The next important thing, now I'm not talking about every single thing that happens here, but the important things, on the 20th, this is the big one. This is where we have the spring equinox. The sun is moving into Aries. It's a time of new beginnings. So I'm looking forward to that, right? This is a time where we initiate, we plant new seeds, we start something new. Okay, so definitely do some sort of a ceremony or write out a special list. What is it that you want to accomplish in the next year, the next astrological year, right? Because this is the beginning of the new astrological year when the sun moves into Aries at the spring equinox. So what in this astrological year do you want to create? So it's time now, the 20th, and the next few days after, to plant the seeds of what it is that you want to see grow. And then you have to water the seeds and nurture the seeds and give the seeds attention, right? But this is definitely a time to put out there, either through your mind or through writing out or doing a ceremony, what this new beginning is going to look like to you. Aries is also the sign of the self, self-confidence, self-initiating, courage, leadership. All of these energies are now going to start to slowly come into place. And I say slowly is because we're now transitioning out of the Pisces energy and slowly into the Aries. On the 20th, the sun moves into Aries. On the 21st, Venus moves into Aries. So now Venus has moved out of Pisces. And she is now, as the divine feminine, the ruler of the divine feminine, she's more strong. She's independent or more independent. She's more confident. She's more self-sufficient. And she's focused on herself. Now, it doesn't mean that she's not helping other people or loving other people, but she's focused on herself and her needs and what she needs to do in order to move forward. And then we have Venus and the sun coming together in Aries on the 25th and 26th, which just kind of supports that Aries energy, right? Especially, well, the sun is a masculine influence and Venus is a feminine influence. So you could almost say that there's a nice balance there of the feminine and the masculine in this sign of confidence and independence. On the 28th, we have a full moon at 8 degrees of Libra. So that means the sun is at 8 degrees of Aries, the opposite sign. The moon is at 8 degrees of Libra. So during this full moon at 8 degrees of Libra, Venus is connecting with Chiron. Venus in Aries is connecting with Chiron, the wounded healer, bringing up wounds regarding our sense of self. And because it's Venus, it's our feminine wounds regarding our sense of self, or especially for the feminine energy on the planet, basically. So it's bringing up those wounds of self-confidence, all those things that Aries rules, because that's what Chiron is doing, is bringing up these old past life wounds and patterns within us. And especially Venus is about how we value ourselves too. So how are you valuing yourself? Are you valuing your gifts? Are you valuing who you are? Do you respect who you are? Are you confident in who you are? And these are some of the wounds during that full moon in Libra that Venus and Chiron will be bringing up. Now, we know that Libra, where the full moon is, Libra is about partnerships and relationships. And the full moon in Libra is going to be opposing that Chiron and Venus that are coming together. It's also making what's called a quincunx aspect to Uranus and a trine to Saturn. So this is bringing up relationship stuff, okay? It's not just the wounds within yourself, but because this full moon is opposing Chiron and Venus, it's the wounds of imbalance within the relationship. Because Libra is the sign of the scales. And if the sign of the scales, if the scales are out of balance, then our relationships are not operating the way they should be. If there's an imbalance of power or an imbalance of respect or whatever it might be, if it's not equal, then it's not as harmonious as Libra would want it to be. So this full moon is going to ask us to look at our relationships, not just necessarily romantic, but it can be with friends or family or even our business associations. And where is there a lack of equality? Where is there an imbalance? Because this full moon is going to highlight all of that. So that is mostly, there's a couple of other things happening at the end of the month on the 29th. The sun comes together with Chiron and Aries, again bringing up wounds of the self. Mercury comes together with Neptune, which is going to increase our ability to be intuitive, be intuitively perceptive, basically. So a lot going on this month, but again, some of the past energies of January and February might have been a little bit stronger. But remember that, this is a month that deals with our sense of power and our sense of strength and leadership and being able to take charge, where we need to, or speak our truth or stand in our truth when we need to. So let's go ahead and take a look at the message from our angels and guides from the Syrian Starseed Tarot. Now, normally I would choose 3 cards. 4 cards came out, 2 cards were at the end. So the first card that came out by itself, let's turn that over, is the 7 of Crystals. Now, the crystals is the suit of pentacles. So it's earth or pentacles. It's about the tangible things of life, which can be like our job, our career, family stuff, finances, money. That's what pentacles or crystals deals with, are those earthly matters. The number 7, numerologically, can be about taking a pause. It can be about self-reflection and going within to try to make sense out of something, to try to understand something on a deeper level. And a lot of times it's trying to understand something that's not making any sense. Now remember, we start the month off in Pisces season. The sun is still in Pisces. Venus is still in Pisces. And so there's a lot of this kind of floaty, unknown, lack of clarity, lack of focus kind of energy going on. And so that's what the number 7 here with the crystals to me is about, is there might be a lack of clarity of what's happening in our finances. There might be a lack of clarity about what's happening in our family. There might be a lack of clarity about what's happening in our job. Now, the number 7 is also a very spiritual number. So it's about going within, reflecting, meditating, being quiet and silent within to use your powers of discernment, which is to be a highly overlooked gift that a lot of us have and possess, is to use those powers of discernment to try to intuit what is really happening, or why it's happening, or what you're supposed to be learning, or maybe the timing just isn't right for something. Again, Pisces is that completion kind of sign. So maybe it's just about astrological or universal timing isn't right with certain areas and situations in your life. And maybe it's going to start to unfold better when we pass the spring equinox and start moving into the Aries energy, which is more action-oriented, more initiating, more confident, more directive, because it's a fire sign. Pisces is a water sign, so it's kind of this mutable, flowing, kind of creative energy that you can't really focus in on or ground in on. So with the 7 of Crystals, I would say, this is kind of just taking a moment, allowing yourself to go within, to try to intuit what's going on, or at least listen to the messages that your higher soul self is giving you, or your angels and guides are giving you, and to know that there's something happening beneath the surface that you might not quite see consciously or know consciously yet, but it's okay. It's all going to work out. The number 7 is about faith and trust. So if you have faith and trust for these next few days, I'm thinking that everything will start to make a little bit more sense. Everything will start to become a little bit more clear as we move forward throughout the month. All right, let's take a look at the second card The second card is the Three of Flames. The Three of Flames is like the Three of Wands, the Three of Fire. This is a very creative card, and the number 3 is about creativity as well. So we have creativity with the number 3, we have expansion with the number 3, we have communication, learning, perceiving, all energies of the mind with the number 3. The number 3 also rules abundance, prosperity, and blessings, which is, why it rules that expansion principle. We can expand into the prosperity, we can expand into the blessings. And even this woman here, she's expanding her arms out, and her part of her, I don't know if it's a veil, it's not really a veil, I don't know what you call that, like a cloak or something, but she's expanding that out. And the 3 wands here are expanded out. She's got a lot of space in here within which to move and grow and flow. And so this is, to me, about expanding oneself. And it's expanding your creative self-expression, expanding your sense of kind of inner blessings, if you will. Like if you feel good and you look at things glass half full and you're feeling joyous and you're feeling happy and you're feeling confident, you're expanding your energy spiritually to be able to receive the blessings back, to receive prosperity and abundance. So I want to say here with the Three of Flames, after we have that pause here, after we have this pause and going within and trying to figure out why something's happening or it's not making any sense and you're confused, just move into this creative, expansive, spiritual energy with the Three of Flames. Allow yourself, and this might be actually involving yourself in something creative. When you involve yourself in something creative, it kind of lets the mind not have to be so fixed on something logical. It lets the mind move into this creative spiritual energy, which then opens us up. And here, with this triangle of fire, it opens us up to be able to receive the blessings from the universe, which to me is what is happening with this woman. She's expanding herself out in order to receive. Okay, let's take a look at the last card. Now came out as 2 cards. So the first of those 2 cards, oh, I love it, another flames card. This is the Ace of Flames, the Ace of Fire. Okay, so the Ace of Fire, the spring equinox, the sun moving into Aries, the first sign of the zodiac, and Aries is a fire sign, right? So it is the beginning of something new. The aces are always a beginning, a new beginning. And the flame suit is, again, the suit of the spiritual, right? You have water for the emotions, you have air for the mind, you have the pentacles for the earthly matters, and now you have the flames for the spiritual. So this is a new beginning, a new spiritual beginning. And Spirit is going to light the way. This one torch is lighting your way forward as we move into the spring equinox, as we move into this initiating energy of Aries and planting these new seeds in where we want to go next. So let the universe light the way, let yourself light the way, kind of be that light, be that light, be that initiating light, be that leader, be that creator. Be that confident individual, which is all those Aries keywords, in order to move forward into this new spiritual beginning. There's new beginnings coming. Let's see what card came out with this card and see what kind of new beginnings it talks about. So we have Major Arcana 17, the star card. Isn't it interesting that 17 adds up to an 8 as well? So we still have that 8 influence, right? The 1 of the 17, Major Arcana 17, the 1 of the 17 is like the ace. The ace is like the 1. The 7 of the 17 is like the 7 in the 7 of Pentacles or the 7 of Crystals. So, and again, it adds up to an 8, which is like the 8th Major Arcana. So we definitely have a theme going on here. But the star card is about our future dreams. It's our hopes, dreams, and wishes for the future. What we want to kind of move into, right? In this person, actually it's a one of the Egyptian gods here, is moving forward on their path, but they're connected to the universe. So as you move forward into this time of new beginnings with the spring equinox, make sure that you got the universe as co-creator, right? I mean, we do have the universe as co-creator, but make sure that you're connecting with that energy, that it's going to take you the creative fire, you the leader, you the initiator, with the universe, with the stars, with the heavens, you know, with all of those archangels and ascended masters and all of those that are part of the heavens. They're actually all around us, right? They're not in another, you know, they're not, away from us or external from us. All we have to do is communicate with them in our meditations or talk to them in every day, to ask them for assistance, ask them for guidance, ask them for help. And here again, we're moving towards our hopes, dreams, and wishes. So this is a process that is going to be ongoing. You know, when we plant the new seed, it doesn't all of a sudden sprout and grow overnight. It's going to take a little time. And the star card suggests that this is something that is off a little bit in what we call our future, right? So as we move along with the heavens at our back, basically, you know, those of the light are kind of assisting us from the other realms, and we are moving forward into these beautiful blessings that to me are represented by the stars in the universe. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at your special message depending on your stone of choice. So the first stone of choice was the citrine. So I'm going to close my eyes so I can't see the cards in the camera. So that citrine pendant, special message card for the month of March for the people that chose the citrine pendant. This one's sticking up. Whoops, almost dropped the whole deck. Oh, it says angel assistance. Can you see that there? Angel assistance. Wow, isn't that a beautiful angel? Now, just because of all the different colors and because of the I think that's the Star of David configuration, or six-pointed star above the crown there. Then there's a rainbow carrying kind of this kind of a wand or a torch of some sort. It just reminds me of Archangel Raziel, okay? And I'm not saying it necessarily is Archangel Raziel or only Archangel Raziel, as it does say angel assistance. So know that the angels of the highest vibration of light, the archangels, that you have some assistance from the higher realms with whatever it is that you're working on, trying to do, creating. Maybe you're working on yourself and your own inner child healing, or maybe you're working on trying to heal a relationship or a pattern within yourself. Or like I said, maybe you're looking to start a new career or heal a relationship or whatever it might be. Know that you have that angel assistance. But the reference to Archangel Raziel, because to me I just feel like it reminds me of that, the different colors in the wings, and it just has this magical Archangel Raziel kind of look. And Archangel Raziel is the archangel of divine magic and alchemy. So it has that Merlin the magician kind of alchemy, magic, kind of feeling to it. So know that you can call upon that magic within yourself, or you can call upon the magic of Archangel Raziel to assist you if you need some sort of a miracle, if you need some magical assistance, if you need to shape energy of one situation that you're in into kind of a new energy. That's kind of, to me, what alchemy is. We're using this magical energy to alchemize or change the energy of a situation. So that to me is also indicated. The fact that we have the rainbow to me is a positive sign that things are going to turn out exactly as they need to for you. I want to say exactly as you want, but sometimes what we think we want isn't necessarily what is best for us. And then when we get what's best for us, we think, oh my gosh, this is so much better than what I was even asking for. So just know that there's positive things on the way there with that rainbow and all the beautiful colors and magic and assistance from the angelic realm is with you. Okay? And for those of you that chose the Shattuckite, Okay, let's ask for special message for Shattuckite people. Special message for Shattuckite people. Okay, this one, as I open my eyes, is calling my attention. And it says community. Okay, so we still have a lot of Aquarius energy. Jupiter's in Aquarius, Saturn's in Aquarius. For part of the month, Mercury's in Aquarius. I feel like, you know, to me, the Aquarian energy is about coming together with groups of like-minded people, coming together with community, finding your tribe, working together for a common goal or vision for the planet, for other people. So I feel like whether it's on a large scale or whether it's just that you need to find people that are like-minded, you need to find new associations and friends, people to talk to, people to connect with. And maybe it's just for that friendship and support, and maybe it is for a higher project, for a group, you know, or to be of service to, or something that's going to help your community, or even help the planet or humanity on a larger level. But whatever this is, this means to me connecting with other people, community. You know, we got some fire energy here, you know. So again, I feel like this might come into play after the spring equinox. Maybe that might be something on your list if that's something you're looking for, new friends or new community, new tribe. Put that out as far as the spring equinox intention of what it is that you want to call in. Or like I said, I feel like, you know, whatever this is meaning for you personally, that it may come into play after the sun moves into Aries, after that time of new beginnings, after that new initiation energy, because of this fire, and because Aries is a fire sign. It just kind of has that feeling of that fire energy. There's also, to me, something about celebration, you know, celebrating with people, connecting with people to thank them, to appreciate them for their support, to come together again in some sort of a celebration of something. So maybe you want to create that. What else might we say about this? I just feel like there's a need for more fun in your life. There's a need to have more joy, more fun, more enjoyment. And you know, we can do that by ourselves as well, but it's, to me, this message is saying to look for others to also be involved in that enjoyment process, okay? All right. Then for those of you that chose the Amethyst Cluster, special message for Amethyst Cluster. Okay, the one on the bottom, no, they're saying not that one, this one. Okay. Truth. Okay. So you're needing to look at the truth about something and maybe speak your truth about something. Okay, it could be both of those things. This is also about taking off the mask of illusion, right? This person has a mask in their hands. So I feel like you're needing to see the clarity of something. You know, it's kind of like wearing those rose-colored glasses that we talked about earlier. You might be wearing this mask that kind of keeps you from seeing the truth about something, or you're keeping yourself, you know, maybe you really know what's going on, or you really know what you should do or what steps you should take, but you're kind of keeping yourself in the dark because you don't want to face it, you don't want to see it. And Spirit is saying, the universe is saying, it's time to take off the mask. It's time to see the truth, and it's time to act on your truth, okay? Because your truth isn't necessarily somebody else's truth. And what your truth is what's going to make you happy, what's going to bring you joy, what's going to give you strength, what's going to make you feel, I shouldn't say make you, what's going to allow you to feel free, okay? So seeing your own truth, allowing yourself to see the truth of a situation, or maybe even the truth of a person, is going to allow you to set yourself free, to move out of the shadows, to move out of this darkness and into more of the light that's around you, right? Okay? And that's what Spirit wants you to do. The other part of that is, again, speaking your truth. There might be something that you've held back from saying to another person. Maybe it's a family member, friend, a loved one. there could be several reasons why you've held back in speaking your truth, but it might be part of your soul evolution and growth to take your power back. How we were talking about that number 8, to take your power back, it might be part of your soul's growth and evolution to empower yourself by speaking your truth, by standing your ground, by saying what needs to be said, what you believe, what your truth is. And again, it doesn't have to be out of anger or aggression, but it does need to be out of confidence. You need to be confident in who you are and what you believe and what you want and what you deserve. And again, time to take off that mask, see the truth, and speak your truth. So I hope you've all enjoyed this monthly intuitive reading for March. I want to thank you all so much for subscribing to the channel, for commenting, for sharing the video, for following me on my Facebook and Instagram pages. Thank you so much, everyone, for your love and light and support. And some of you have left wonderful Google reviews for me, so I have to thank you for that as well. Sending you all lots of love and light and many, many blessings until we meet for next month or for next week. Namaste, everyone.